Yeah, you didn't have to put that my start of that other
Um,
topic if you didn't want to. That not the other
yeah,
topic.
I guess I just
Sure.
knew this one would probably go for a little while, longer because of the topic itself.
Yeah.
If I could figure some kind of way to splice them together, I did have another question, if you don't mind, with regard, like I touched on it a little bit, but I think we circled back to something else, but it was where I was asking about your thoughts on like celebrities and like athletes and stuff who either it seems like, and it's the darker men who end up with either white women who are not black, or biracial women, or women who are really light. If it's a black woman, is really light skinned, whereas probably in high school or whatever, they may not even been that way. They may not even been cute enough to have a girlfriend or whatever in high
Exactly.
school. What are your thoughts on that?
Some of it, I think some of them believe that that's a status symbol,
So they believe that white is better or more beautiful. So the fact that I can get one means I
fact that I
made
can
it.
get one, the fact that this is who's around me all the time, throwing themselves at me, and added with my mama told me don't bring her home if she can't use my comb, or bring her home, or something like that, or that kind of that's for the other people that get the darker ones or stay within their race. But or I want a light skinned, good hair grandchild.
Like she's black, but she's light skinned, like that kind of thing. Like I'm
That
gonna
kind
stay
of thing,
within my race, but
or that kind of
like,
thing, or that other quote, don't bring her home if she can't use my comb. That's for them, those mamas. Don't bring no white girl up in here, boy. That's those kind of things, but that's for them. But again, somebody, like you said earlier, somebody in the family is telling her stuff, or they just don't want to be talked about in their peer group because everybody else has a white girl or light complected girl. So it could be a number of reasons, because on several instances, we've seen them married to a white girl, but they dating a black girl. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So they got her on the side, so those things.
Is what they really want, you think? Like, this is what I really want.
This is what I really want. So
I'm truly more attracted to, but for a certain status.
For status.
Image.
Yeah, for status. And so the boys, I can fit in with the boys.
Yeah.
This is who I'm gonna have.
That's a whole lot for a lifetime of carrying on to fit in,
It is a whole lot, but some of them will do it. It's not a lot of them, and I used to be pissed off at that too. But however, I'm figuring, eliminate them. That's a way of elimination.
Eliminating who?
Eliminate the ones that want to, like the white girls.
Oh,
they'll show who they are.
Oh, so now I know who. Okay.
So now we know, which I'm not interested in any of them, but now they'll know, But I'm telling y'all, it's some nice looking young black men in y'all's era. They didn't look like that when I was coming up. We had some fine ones, but they didn't look like that when I was coming up.
That's funny because we say that about 90s black men, because we're like, they don't make them like the 90s black men.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Who said that? You, Kennedy?
Like when Morris Chestnut was in his prime, when Tupac was in his prime. Okay, kind of, like around that era. And just like all those really big, the big black films. Like
that's Gen X then.
Okay, yeah, Gen X.
Gen X men. Huh?
Yeah, they got some fine Gen X men. I'm talking about Michael Vick, that young man that plays on.
That's funny you mentioned that, Mom. Michael Vick he got a job now.
Good for him.
Yeah, he's doing like a sports commentating thing. I said, is that Michael Vick? Yeah, and I said he is fine. Kelly said he always look good.
That man always have looked good.
Eyes twinkling and stuff. I'm like, why does his eyes twinkle and sparkle like that? What is his eyes? He got me and Kelly was like, yeah, what is that?
Yes.
Like, look at his suit. I said, they done gave him a job. Good for him.
Good for him. I'm glad. That young man that played, I never can pronounce his name, the one who played on Queen Sugar. I have him in my photo thing. Like I took a picture of him myself. Yeah. I have him in my photos, like I took a picture of him. Every now and then when I'm a little down, I just pull him and Michael Vick's picture up and just look at it and, you know, and wish they liked older women. But there's some fine young men. We had some nice looking young men too. When
But
I was
who did you have? Like you got Garrett A. Morgan and them that was in the uniform on a different world. You got the man who you got what's that man?
Glenn Sherman.
Yeah, him. You got him. You got like Ben Vereen and them and Benson. You
Oh, I love Benson.
remember Benson?
I love him.
And
Robert
what's
Young.
and what's his name? Morgan Freeman. He's older than you, but you got remember Morgan Freeman.
No comment.
Morgan Freeman been old his whole life.
No
He's
comment.
been 70 forever, huh?
No comment.
Okay, wait, let me say my last comment though. So wait, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, yes, we know that once certain celebrities get enough fame, they tend to like date light-skinned women or white women. Like when their whole life they were dating a black woman, an unambiguous black woman, whether she was light skinned or brown, whether she was brown skin or dark skin. She was always very unambiguous, like clearly, African American black. And then once they, really make it, then it's like, okay, then they start dating these very ambiguous, light skin, or just the white women, etc. Like, for example, I don't know, maybe like Kevin Hart is an example. LeBron James is I guess, the antithesis to that stereotype because he's been with his woman forever. But I want to say really quick,
Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade, exactly. But really quick, I was watching this video and it was a white woman and a dark-skinned black man talking. And the white woman basically was like, y'all view having a white woman as a prize, as like, you leveled up in life, like you made it. But white women do not view black men the same. And within the white community, she was saying that it's not considered an upgrade equivalency to how black men consider an upgrade when they date a white woman. But other white people within the white community, when a white woman dates a black man, it's obviously not considered, an upgrade.
Yeah, like you win it, right.
Right. And so he basically was like, he was in denial like the whole time. And basically, like, there were even some comments on the video that were saying like, even some white men, obviously this is like anecdotal, but even some white men, when they see that a black man is dating a white woman, they're like, oh, thank you for taking the ones off of our hands that we didn't want.
That's what I was saying about.
So that's how they view it. Yeah.
Yeah. So weed them out and then we won't waste our time. Or not me, but y'all.
No, but she was saying a white man, right?
Yeah. That the white man.
But you're saying in the same goes reverse, like for us. Or Oh, okay. I mean, but are they really weeding out the ones that we wouldn't want? No, of course we want the ones who have gotten successful and made it in their careers, and we were probably their girlfriend starting freshman year of college, but then senior year when they realized they were going to be drafted, then they ended up dropping us and getting somebody else. So those are, of course we want them. I don't feel like that's weeding out the ones that we wouldn't want. We want celebrities. We want the people who are successful and financially,
we're weeding out the ones that have that mentality.
Okay.
Have that lack of self-esteem.
Gotcha.
That have that, let me follow what you do because I care what you think about me.
Okay.
Kind of mentality. Not that, yeah. Because we know Letitia helped you get through college by doing your reports and stuff. Yeah, did your papers and stuff like that. We know she helped you, but then once you get through college, like you say, and you think that you're successful, then you choose what you think is a sign of your status or your successfulness.
Yeah.
We're weeding out the mentality, not because Letitia would have stayed with you and really kept you strong.
Mhm.
But
Letitia.
yeah, yeah,
Letitia. So I think I don't have a problem with like interracial dating and stuff. Of course, I'm in a interracial marriage, but what I do have an issue with is if I'm probably processing this as I'm saying it. We all have preferences, but
yes,
when your preference is solely just this, then that's where it's like you're closed-minded and probably being kind of
right, yeah,
ignorant, and you're ruling out, potential happiness with somebody else. So if you're truly
exactly,
looking for love and that's what it's all about,
right,
you are truly looking for that, then you wouldn't have just a preference when it comes down to like race and things like that. But
right,
were, if you're like, yes, my preference is Black women, but I want a Black woman with full lips, or even if it was your Black man and your preference is white women, but you're like, but she better have an ass, she better be curvy, she better look like a Black woman otherwise, but just be white, then I have a problem with that. That's
mhm,
my issue there. But
mhm,
if you were open-minded, and this is who, like you said, Mom, you get to a certain level and that's who's around because of access to things,
right,
which is a whole
exactly,
nother issue in and of itself,
yeah,
because a lot of
yeah,
us may not have access to these events or
exactly,
access to get in there to be around these people in these statuses, if you will.
right,
So,
exactly,
so if that's who you're around often, then that's what you see, and you probably end up dating somebody who you see all the time and you're around.
right,
But if you're not, but if you truly like do have your preference for a Black woman, you're not just going to fall for it. If you're not even attracted to a white woman, you're not just
right,
going to go for it. You're
exactly,
going to go somewhere, or you're going to ask somebody, where can I meet like a beautiful Black woman? Or, oh, you got a Black wife? Does she have a friend or a sister? You're going to try to, seek that out. But otherwise, if you're just stuck on this certain, you think that that's a status, then you are continuing to accept what's being, you know, perpetuated in like media and other people, like you said, like, oh, my boys got this white woman or certain person who looks a certain way and isn't Black, so I don't want to, I want to fit in or whatever, and just follow suit in that way. So that's what I have an issue with.
yeah, I understand that clearly. I used to have a real problem with that the Black man, white woman situation, but then I stopped and I realized that um, everybody has a preference, and like you said, if that's their preference, then cool. But I realized that at some point in the world, that means everybody is going to be Black, because as they said, if you have 1/16 of Black blood in you, a drop of Black blood in you, then you're Black. So at one point, besides the white mom, the population is going to be Black.
Mm.
So
At some point, probably majority. Yeah.
majority,
Color
yes,
period. Yeah.
yeah,
That's a good point. So I'll give
yeah.
you another opportunity, and we'll wrap this discussion if either of you have something else to add or go
I
for it.
don't. I said I don't, but other than the fact that um, I want, I don't, like I said, if it's their preference, their true preference, and their preference because coming from their heart, not because they want to have a trophy or they feel that it makes them look better to other people, then it's fine. I have no problem.
Yeah.
Problem with
And I've never
male
been
or female,
hmm,
male or female. However, I did read a millionaire man said that a Black woman was made for a billionaire. Exactly what he meant. I don't know whether he meant because she's strong, she can hang with him, she knows what to do, but a couple of a couple of white billionaires said Black women were made for billionaires.
a couple of them said that.
Yeah,
Well, Eve was married to a billionaire.
yes,
Janet Jackson was with a billionaire. Who else?
yeah.
Rihanna with the billionaire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
I had her billionaire.
hey,
Naomi Campbell.
Naomi Campbell.
And pulling that out, do we feel that same way about white men, Black women? So is that okay, or are they confirming our beauty? Do we accept that as a confirmation because a white man? And if we do, then why are we putting that type of
Power.
Power on him,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So
I don't have a problem with it. I saw a couple walk in front of my car just this morning, walking their dog. It was a Black girl. They were young, probably in their late 20s, early 30s, like walking their dogs but holding hands. They each had a dog and then they were holding hands. It was a white guy and a Black girl. And I saw them coming, and I think that the minute she saw me and saw that I was Black, she looked away. Like she almost like even stopped talking to him and kind of looked in the other direction as they walked across the car. So clearly she feels judged in her relationship, and she's not secure in her relationship. Whereas that man was like, this my girl, you know, like he just trotting along, like we got us a couple of dogs and we walking, and I'm happy, this is my family, not knowing that here's a Black woman who is also in an interracial, you know, relationship. So she was, I can tell that there was a shift. And I even thought about it in that moment. I was like, oh, she's probably feeling some type of way about this relationship that she's in and how Black people will judge her about it. But I don't like, you know, clearly I don't have an issue with it. I didn't always date outside of my race, and I thought I had a preference, but you know, when you open your mind to love, you just never know
when you open your heart and your mind, you never know who's going to step in.
So that's where I was in that place. But I don't look at anybody and be like, no, like that's love who you love. Love is love, but don't dig on me because I'm not the person who you're not attracted to.
Yeah.
You don't have to talk down about a dark-skinned woman because it's not your preference.
Because it's not your preference.
That's okay. Yeah, because you have a Black mom. You're a dark-skinned dude, for example, and you have a Black mom. Why are you talking about another, whether she's light or dark? You still have a Black mother. You know, so like, why are you doing that? And then when you get like, there's like in social media, sometimes you might see things on Instagram, for example, that'd be like, you know, dark-skinned girls be like, and when they're be like, they're usually being like aggressive or saying like a dark-skinned girl's gonna beat up a dude. You know, like, why? Do we have some extra strength that somebody, just because, you know, we're more melanated? Like, do we have some kind of, like, what is that about? Like, why are we harder, harsher, meaner, less attractive? You know, those things. I have zero respect for that.
Yeah, I don't like that either. And I know, I believe that as Black women, we don't necessarily seek out a white man. Now, I'm not saying that's across the race, but I don't think we usually seek out our Black men for love.
So too.
Unlike some of our brothers who they seek white women. So some of them.
I would agree with that.
I think it's a different thing. I just believe that me personally, I just believe that me and my experience as a Black woman can love, can respect, can support the Black man, not like no other woman can. That's just me. However, I'm not saying I won't take the white man that has my 40 acres and a Jaguar. So I can't do nothing with him. You now, I ain't eating his meat or nothing. So that doesn't mean that I won't, you know, accept that person. You know,
I was thinking about
my preference, huh?
Right. I was just thinking about like Tika Sumpter, dark skin, white partner or husband or whatever.
Look where she was. That was somebody that worked with her, like you were saying early.
Did he work with her?
Yes, he was on that show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was a police officer.
Look at two things with this I want to touch on. I know we were going to wrap up, but now I'm just having this conversation, just talking about it. But two things with that is like, so Tika Sumpter, white husband. You said Kiki Palmer, white boyfriend, right? You got Eve, white boyfriend, not a dark-skinned person, but, you know, a Black woman. Lupita Nyong'o, she had gotten like linked to like Jared Leto or whatever some years ago. I don't know if it's still a thing, or she also got linked to Janelle Monáe, whatever. I don't know if that's a thing, but I would like to be linked to Janelle Monáe if that's ever an opportunity. But anyway, but then I also,
else. I say Janelle Monáe is linked to someone else now, but I can't think of her name, but I know her face.
Oh, that light-skinned girl with the curly hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was prior to Lupita, and then it was supposedly they broke up, And then
Okay.
it was Lupita, but then like recently, I saw them
It's
do
a
like a,
Latino girl,
huh?
a Latino
Latina?
girl.
Oh, okay.
Latina.
No, I was thinking of that girl, who's also an actress. Anyway, so then you have Viola Davis, not with a dark-skinned woman, not with a white man, but that's what the two things for me are, that you have um, those
Dark
two
skinned
dark
women.
skinned people with the
Mhm.
white man. Then you also have like a Lupita and a Viola, who are dark skinned women who have thrived in their careers, but it's
Mhm.
almost like they have to be, as a dark skinned woman, like all kinds of like background and education. Both of them came from like Juilliard or something.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like they had to go to Juilliard as dark skinned women to end up where they are. Is that what it has to be? Where you might have a light skinned woman. I'm trying to think of, like, let's say Halle Berry, and I'm just using that because she's the first light skinned woman that comes to mind. I don't know what her education is, but let's say if she didn't go to like Juilliard or one of these, or an Ivy League school, or for acting or whatever, and she has made it, like you're a superstar, you were making $20 million a year and stuff, whereas these two people, like, they're not making $20 million a film. They're not making $20 million a film. They've gone to Juilliard or Yale or whatever these schools are, and they're dark. So like that's an issue for me.
Right. Yeah.
Just like in life, it seems like as Black people or Black women in general, I have to have like all this extra. We talked about this before a few weeks ago. All this extra be so much better than
Yeah.
a white person who just has maybe
Yeah.
a bachelor's degree,
Right.
maybe, maybe not a bachelor's degree. So,
Yeah.
were you gonna say something, Mom?
No, I
Oh,
was thinking about Bertice Berry. Um,
sounds
Bertice Berry.
familiar.
She had a talk show on TV, and she said she's a dark complected, intelligent lady, pretty. She said that her mom told her that because of the way she looked, she better get some good education
Hmm.
because she wasn't going to get a husband.
Oh,
So, of course, she went to school, got a couple of 2 or 3 master's degree and her PhD and stuff like that. Now, the last time I saw her was years ago. So I don't know if she's married now, but wherever she is, she's hopefully she's happy. But a lot of thinking about what we've been discussing, a lot of it is taught. She said the only reason she had self-esteem was from her aunt. And
hmm.
I think Bertice Berry said when she was growing up, she had red hair. She had red hair. She was a chocolate pretty girl. Her aunt was the only one who told her that she was pretty.
Hmm.
That's where she got her self-esteem from because her mom was telling her otherwise.
Wow. See,
Yeah,
that's crazy, but
yeah, yeah,
like a mother's words hold weight, no
yeah,
matter
it does.
how much. So you definitely have to be careful with your words and what you're saying to your
Yeah,
children.
yeah.
Even as adults, I think that you have to be careful with that.
Mm.
So with that, I say, like, colorism, to kind of like work to erase colorism. Just give me one parting tip on what we can do to help get rid of colorism, or if you think it's never going to go away.
I don't think it's ever going to go away. I do think it's going to lessen. It's going to, because I believe in Kennedy's generation. What did I just do? I have no idea.
What?
Can you see me? Oh, because I hit something.
Yeah.
I hit something and my whole screen went somewhere else.
No, you're still there. I can see it here.
Okay, you could still see me, but I couldn't see you all.
Oh, okay.
I think in Kennedy's generation, they're going to have so much self-esteem, it's not going to be a conversation. But there's always going to be someone that's going to say something so that it won't go away. But it's not going to be plentiful, you know.
I have to disagree with that. I feel like, if anything, I feel like it's gotten worse in my generation.
Mm.
Yeah, I think it has gotten worse. But I have noticed that even though it has gotten worse, I feel dark-skinned Black women are not letting it affect them
Okay.
as much. And so my words my parting words would be that just dark-skinned Black women, continue to be confident, continue to love yourself through it all.
Right.
And, you know, I think even that will have, I feel like once we start doing that, then the Black women be like, oh, how are you confident without us? How do you have all this self-love without us? Like, we don't want you. And then they're going to start wanting us again. I feel like that's how it's going to go. I feel like dark-skinned Black women are going to start being, you know, unconditionally loving themselves. And then Black men are going to notice it. And then they're going to, you know, maybe retreat away from their colorist tendencies. Hi, Simi.
Hey, see me. There you are. Your cameo every week. Auntie loves you.
Those are my parting words.
Those are really solid parting
Yeah,
words.
that's
I would
good.
agree with
Yeah.
that. And I also would just ask that women in general, Black women or other women who are raising Black girls,
Yeah.
then they need to be able to, as they raise their children, they need to be kind with their words and also encouraging with their words. And whether you're saying your child is beautiful every single day, you need to point out, like, your nose is just beautiful. And here's why your nose is this way. Here's why your lips are full. Here's why, you know, and not make it, just giving them that confidence and self-esteem, but also not making it a thing. And what I mean by that is, you don't have to then say, you don't have to compare.
Right.
Your self-esteem has nothing to do with other people. So you don't need to, like, say, this light-skinned person, see, look at them, they're not even that cute. You're dark and you're cuter. There's no reason to compare with someone else.
No.
And I just want people to do that, women to do that when they're raising their girls, men to do that.
And their boys too.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they're raising their boys too.
And have a different conversation,
Yeah.
similar to that, but different when they're raising Black boys.
Yes.
With
Yes.
that, we end here. I love you guys. And until next time.
All righty. Bye.
Bye.
Cheers.